In healthcare, we have experienced many new innovative ideas, and one of the jobs of the board is to separate fact from fiction. We see a lot of shiny objects come and go, and so it's the responsibility of the board to determine when something has staying power and the health system should follow it, and when they should basically wait and see whether it's important and be what I would call a fast follower. First and foremost, at this point in time, the board needs to stay the course with respect to financial performance, with respect to providing great care, with respect to focusing on their physicians, with respect to improving the quality of care within the organization, and they can't sacrifice the basics regardless of what happens in healthcare. Unfortunately, what we see around the country is it's always more fun to try new things. They are sacrificing, in many cases, the basics. So the first rule of thumb is, regardless of what happens, make sure that the healthcare system stays strong financially and is a strong, high-quality provider of care. After you do that, then you can look for what else you need to do in order to prepare for the future. Probably the most important thing to do is to focus on cost. We know that the current cost structure of a health system is not sustainable because the health system in the United States cannot support the its own current cost structure. So in order to take cost out of a health system, it can't come out incrementally. We have to look at the portfolio of facilities and the portfolio of services. And the best way to take cost out is really to eliminate underutilized services and facilities. And that's very hard for boards to do, but eventually those facilities and services are going to be eliminated anyway. So the best thing that a board can do first is to look at things that eventually they're going to have to stop doing anyway and stop doing them now. One of the big mistakes that I think boards make is they think their job is to talk about how they feel about the healthcare system. This is not a time for feelings, it's a time for facts. And what the boards need to focus on are the facts about what needs to happen to improve the healthcare in their market, improve the value of healthcare, reduce the cost of healthcare. Unfortunately, that means making hard decisions and going against their feelings in many cases. The key to planning is having an organization that's nimble enough that it can change on a dime, given the fact that nobody knows where the healthcare system is going to go on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis. So you need to have your organization, especially your physicians, in some kind of delivery model that can adjust to whatever changes the government decides to make, and it can happen quickly. So the plan isn't the document. The plan is really creating an organization that can be nimble enough to adjust to the environment that is going to change quickly. And we know it's going to change quickly because we're not in a sustainable model. And that's the key to success. It's really critical for a board member to learn. Because healthcare has so many nuances, and if you make a decision without understanding the unintended consequences, it can be devastating to the board. And then there's this dichotomy. I mentioned that you can't make decisions based on your feelings any longer. At the same time, if information you're given doesn't feel right, you shouldn't agree. And you shouldn't allow the hospital to move forward. You need to trust your instincts because the community really depends on your decisions.